Hello, Virgo, and welcome to my channel, Joy to the World. I am happy to have you here. I am your reader, Melissa Joy. How is your day going? How is your life going, friend? The power that I see coming in at this channel all the time is for Virgo to let it go. Let it go, a Virgo. Let go of what, Joy? I don't know, but little Dorothy Riding Hood is coming up in here with her bag of tricks to help us out with that. It's letting go of all rights and responsibilities, and rights meaning the rights of other people to you. Somehow they bought all these shares without paying any price, and they're moving your hands about. Oh, thank gosh, you got a hand up in here. They're trying to move your hands all about this and that, sharing your blessings with them. Share because you care, but it's obligation, it's coercion. Like last week said, hashtag a thug of that. So Virgo, I don't know why you had me set my camera up like this, and I'm telling you, some of you might want to check out Taurus, because they were ready to have me rewind and go back and go, Joy, I don't feel comfortable being in the center and in the spotlight, but I sort of do. I want to be in the center of my life and enjoy my life. I don't want to step on anybody's toes or get into anyone else's space. Let me tell you, friend, it is yours. That's that old fug muggery here, that old lie and denial. What denial of self? Your richness, your fertility, your abundance, like the Nile, it overflows its banks and it blesses all the land, friend. So possess yourself. Let's get rid. Dorothy the Who coming on through, and she is cutting and releasing you from all those contracts, all those obligations. They're called, some of you have some guilt spells on you, some of you have some blood spells on you, things that have been on you since you were little, like people controlling you and thinking they own you and bringing you along, and you're their yes man, your yes woman, your agree person, your wingman. And that puts you in second place in your own life, puts you secondary. And what sucks about that, y'all, that they've been teaching me here, is that as we do that, our own blessings, our own preferences are lost. Say in your phone, right? If somebody else is always using it, it's going to be showing you what they're looking at. Like if you have a Netflix, and that's why they break it down into the different people who are watching it, right? And you can go into yours because it's saving your preferences. But can you imagine that you're floating that account for everything else and it's bumped you off? Okay? Kind of like your little emoji screen where it saves the most commonly used ones, and other people they're keying in their favorite food, their favorite preference, their favorite bank account, and it's just bumping you right off. But meanwhile, they retain the rights to you. I didn't know this was coming about, but hey, in the background, this is what it's actually. It keeps moving, trying to put the blossoming abundance last. No, friend. It is not the bread, it is the spread. The spread in between all that waiting you've been doing, all that putting yourself off, all that WEIGHT that you've been carrying, and maybe you've been carrying. Because to overcare is to have to carry, right? And we just, thank you, Win. Must have been why you had me set up like this. You're like nothing but blue sky. Okay, I got you now, Virgo. Yeah, I love y'all so much. I fall for it every time. I'm coming right on in. I'm like, why do we have it tilted like this? Why was my camera only setting up like this? And they're like, face the wind. I'm like, the wind, I need to make a muffler for my screen and the sunshine and everything. But that's y'all. You're ready. You're ready. You're ready more than you know. Just like you're blessed more than you know. But you say, we're ready to know how blessed we are. So let's just wash that stress away. Come on, Dorothy Red Riding Hood coming on through here. Get rid of that big old bad wolf. Trying to act like that is where you come from. People, kind of edging in on you with those nasty energies. And even if they're not intentionally putting the whole thing around you, they are utilizing it and taking advantage, going, well, you didn't mind before, so I didn't think you'd mind now. But they keep upping the ante and upping the ante. They're growing in vibration and increase on your piano, on your instrument. It's like, if you want to become a master of that vibration and play like that, friend, here's your little own instrument. Get on your Casio keyboard. You scrawl, Virgo, and you sassy. Where are you going up with all that? I love you, oh friend. Does this sound like you? Is this giving some voice to some feelings you've had stuffed down inside of you in a Kleenex box way in the back in the bottom of your belly for so long? And I'm saying, friend, for too long. You deserve a vacation, a permanent vacation. From that, you could just put out of town on the sign on the door. People come showing up and they're like, what? You're like, I'm not available for service anymore. I've switched providers. Ooh, you're so smart. Look at that. And that's your essence. Look at you cherishing yourself. Look at what, see, this is what you were seeing when you look inside now. And Gabriel's here to clear. He's been riding through the channel, clearing your throat chakra, because that's where the heaven and the earth come together. All right? Bringing in your blessings for yourself. Now, you were doing some strange stuff with my decks, and they went flip, flop, flip when I saw the wound trying to come up, and it's like, so part of you is like doing some Houdini, David Copperfield, David Blaine type of stuff, like swishing it up, like, no, don't see me. That's in one of my Mary L cards. Which one is that? Is that the Ace of Wands? There's one birthday candle on your cake. Why? Because you're here to celebrate you, your whole self, your whole existence, your whole life. Ooh, Virgo, look at you bringing in wholeness. You're like, I don't have to keep stuffing up my bag of tricks when this is everything. When you got the genie, ooh, hello. I'm leaning in, Virgo. I'm like, I put some of that essence on me. Now, I got a Virgo midheaven, so I'm ready to receive this too. It's coming in on me, and I'm like, yes. Because even as a small child, people would be like, if a genie gave you 3 wishes, what would you wish for? And I'm like, well, from that genie, I only need one. I wish for all my wishes. Meaning, I wish for more wishes. I wish for the power to continue to live and experience this life, because I don't know everything I want right now. I can't eat my forever, ever on today's plate. That would ruin it. And it wouldn't feel good either. And we're all about feeling good here. Feeling good. That is the truth. That is you being in the center of yourself, because it feels right now. And it's about being out of time and space, and being in this very place, and getting space and time out of you, okay? Because that's what's been robbing us blind. If you're an earth sign, that's Saturn and Pluto that went wrecking through Capricorn, and they're saying for the last 16 years, because that's how long that energy was squatting up in there, bitch slapping and pimp smacking you about, like, hey, where my money? Do your service. Give me the stuff. Give me the goods. And you having to do things that you didn't want to do. Because you know what? It ate up your pleasure time, my friend. Those things where you kept serving, you're already here living from that heart, Virgo. You know your heart. Hello. That virgin heart, that pure heart, you wake up every day, like, part of you is like wanting to climb back in bed because it knew all that what? All that people trying to fuck up, putting their hands all in your dishes, mussing it up, contaminating it, right? Guilting, obligating, all that, already squeezing in on your time before you've even tasted the day. No. And this is making room for your pleasure, because as we said, like the Nile, as you begin to taste pleasure, as you begin to experience your essence, you can't make the tide rise for one boat and not make it rise for all. And Gabriel even bobbing up with some Z formation going, truth, joy, truth. Let me say it again, friend. You can't make the tide rise for your boat and it not rise for everyone else's. Can you see, friend, how serving and loving yourself, getting in tune and touch with yourself, that you wake up, your full vibration is excited to be awake? I mean, every morning's like Christmas morning for you, friend. How do I know? You got the bag of Santa Claus. You wish for the genie. Okay. Well, I can adapt and adjust, and I'm almost 50 now, right? I'm in my 50th year, my year of Jubilee, the total liberation. And that's what I'm sharing with you guys here, because you get in on it when you join this channel. That's what happens. It's just like buying a stock or a share in something. You get dividends, right? Okay, friends. So, bye. By the way, it's free as always. Subscribe. You could also click that like right now if this is sound good to you. I'd tap it on my screen right now if I could, but I am recording. So anyways, that whole vibe of your juiciness waking up for you and in you and through you, your fountain of love, your fountain of life. Now, the cards that you did bump out so far were these two. You said, stick them over here. We'll deal with the rest later. And I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, Virgo. You hijacked this whole reading. I'm like, and you should. Put your hand of power up in here. This is your moment. Dorothy Red Riding Hood is coming in and you're busting open the whole scope, because that's what that hood has been about. It's been about Scorpio in the 8th house. Now remember, we're the whole zodiac, so I'm not putting anybody down. I'm talking about the energies that have been squatting us as we went through that, because Pluto was polluting all through Capricorn, tearing it up and wrecking up. And we're just going to go ahead and claim it for good reason. We ain't stressing, we're releasing, we are letting that go, because you know what? I have seen what the world is and how people operate. Am I condemning each person to say that's all you ever be? No. I got the general idea, the gist of you enough to go, I'm ready for my world. And he be leaning with this one. Oh, sorry, I got to lean this way so you can see. He's like, snapping truth, Joy. I'm like, okay, Gabriel. Put some emojis down below. You can put the snap, you can put the fist bump, you can whatever. We need a Gabriel emoji. Somebody invent it for us right now, okay? But so what Dorothy Red Riding Hood is coming on in here, clicking her heels, going, there's no place like home. And this is your home, my friend. And she was telling me that through that hood, through that poverty, through that guilt and shame and all that obligation that people were putting on you, you were only living 65% of your 180, because with our natural eyes, with the forward-facing eye, okay, our sun, our solidness, we're seeing the 180, right? But because we've been in that hood, we've been in that limited vision, thus missing our provision, the day by day, the stay and restrain, not getting into the luxury of who we are. Squash that. Squash that. Well, that's what she's doing, is she's bringing in all this bag of tricks, all the growth and development that you have been doing in the dark, and is opening up that 125% to you, so that you got the full power now. You are not the minority in your own say-so. You are the majority. You are the all. And what's beautiful is when we do that 180, we get fully met by spirit. Why? Because we finally open up to complete contact. And it's not flat like a map. It's not flat like these cards. It is like a cuboid. You know, it is a sphere. It is dimensional. It is Metatron and Sandalphon coming together. Okay, Sandalphon, I see why you're sitting there. I brought in the angel Larry and friends. We got angels that you can see and grasp and conceive, because we've been taught that for so many hundreds of years. And then we got those that are new on the horizon with this plasmatic energy we got coming in, this creationary energy, that we are who we say we are. And you know what, friend? I'm going to tell you right now, you guilt-free. You shame-free. Removing all those obligations and all those old contracts, we just clearing them out right now. We're removing those lenses and those limitations, because that's your genie. Rub your own belly. Give yourself permission to enjoy this life. Because, friend, let me speak a Virgo word. All right, it makes sense. So, it's not just pleasure we're talking about. When you open up to pleasure, you're releasing pain and the potential for pain. You're getting that off your line, because that is a state of denial. Okay? And when you let pleasure come in, guess what else comes with it? Because like each coin, each dollar has two sides, right? We're talking about that unity, that wholeness, that meeting of the spirit. Then you let in comfort. How does that sound, Virgo? Comfort. Comfort could be not just your favorite sweater, but you're like, I love cashmere, but it's so expensive. But we're talking about now your favorite cashmere sweater. Okay? What if it's not about just getting a massage? What if it's about getting your massage, meaning the type that you leave and your life transforms? You know how you know? Because as you feel better, all of a sudden that day, things start to happen around you. That week, that month, people start signing up with you. People start reaching out to you, friends, business, otherwise. You see how your pleasure serves? It serves this connection and this flow of the whole world. That's the beauty of where I live here with this water, is a lot of stuff goes on in there, y'all, but it's ever moving and vibing and flowing and ebbing and being cleansed by the sun. Do you know when they talk about a UV filter on water? When they put these UV lights over the meat counter in the grocery, it helps cleanse and inhibit bacteria growth, because it's the blue light, the ultraviolet. It's cleansing and purifying the water. That's why people used to open their curtains and open their windows. They would let the fresh air in, the ozone, and then they would also let the sunshine in. And then we take that movement of the water itself and the molecules start bubbling and percolating and moving all around. Guess what? That is you when the obligation is gone. How about instead of getting into the guilt and shame, we just snip the obligation, because that is where the guilt and shame live. The guilt and shame are the essence of that obligation. He like, hi. All right, Gabriel. Hi. He giving you the hand, baby. He's like straight up. Now, what did you turn down over this World card? Okay, the Two of Pentacles, some dolphin magic coming on in here. And it's wanting to be able to see what you say, to see how you live and how you believe. Because part of the breakdown in that is like you've borne the fault and the guilt of that too. There's a whole lot of guilt going on that we just cleanse all around you. You know, you can't know what you know until you know it. So that's why we talk about talking to ourselves, speaking to ourselves, asking ourselves questions, because it is possible to know the unknown. We just have to ask. We ask, and when we're asking ourselves and we're asking the divine one, the divine nature, whatever you term that, right? Then you're asking the whole, and it comes into you wholly, not just in lines and in pieces and parts. It comes in like the cow instead of the hamburger. Okay, friends? So that guilt and fault and failure that you've been bearing on yourself, it's not true. So let's just let it wash away, because you were seeing in the hood. You were seeing in the part. You weren't seeing in the full. But what's wild is look what you did with your part. You grew it fuller than the fullest full, and Sandalphon's like, that's right. Sandalphon is the essence of Metatron. It's the eternal flame. People who just want the gift and not the giver, they invite you along because of what you bring as opposed to who you are. Man, the who, the whole is so much better. Like you can get juice from the orange, but you got to have the orange, right? So why not embrace your orange, juicy, delicious, delightful self, your orange, juicy, delicious, delightful friend? Invite the whole in, because so much more is happening. But we were trained through our schooling to want pieces and parts, the acquisition, the accomplishing, the checking off and all that, instead of the, do you see? I'm just availing myself to the sun. I'm receiving the sun just like these plants. They don't just sit here and go, well, you can only this and you can only that and you better this and you better that. No, they're like, and as they rest and reflect at night, like this is the front 180 and then that's the back 180 where spirit is joining on with you. It does the work. Whatever's in you and your natural self knows how to convert that sunshine into food, into chlorophyll, into wisdom, into progress, into growth, into decision as opposed to indecision. That's the cycle that's going on in here. Look at your pure heart. See, the beauty about this in this tarot deck is we have both silver and gold pentacles. Okay? Silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold decorations. Is that Rudolph? Yeah. Kind of like this channel, y'all. They're like, Joy, we can't edit you. This is who you are. This is how you are. Let's just let it come in raw. Because it's coming in as love. That way you can receive the joy. Joy is personal, right? Love is universal. It's like me giving you a gift card to the grocery store instead of bringing a bag of groceries by because I cleaned out my pantry. I ain't giving you no guilt offering here, friend. I'm offering you the world. That world isn't on a string, it's on a rod. It's like a magic wand. You just wave it around and give your permission. Wield your authority and give your permission for life to bless you, friend. For this genie, rub your own belly. Get some pleasure up in your life and watch that comfort come. Watch that comfort come for you. That's the beauty about dolphin power and dolphin magic is it's this whole divine DNA coming in. Because we are made of salt water, right? And these are mammals living in that environment. They found that way to adapt and breathe. They know how to move with their conscious breath, not just the natural breath that is occurring like the ebb and the flow of the waters. All right, friend? So when we join in that conscious breath, okay, I'll share with you what I did at the sunrise then, and then we will wrap this up. So I've had a lot of pain and suffering in my body. Whacked, smacked, sick, death, all those other things. And I'm like, I'm ready to rise into who I am and have the full experience of me, my essence flowing through me again, not all those abuses and circumstances and situations. And of course, when I gaze at the sun for sunrise, I am facing exactly like I am now. And I start breathing it in, and it's coming up, and all the colors are coming out, and they radiate out towards us. And we are vibrational beings. So I'm sitting there breathing it in, and I'm like, okay, Sun, Spirit, God, I want to receive this, all the beauty, every drop, every drip that you are affording me today and offering me. And I said, well, you're too full to receive it. There's a lot you'll have to let go of. And I said, I'm happy to. I'm happy to. Because these last 16 years, it's so much trash, because even if it began as treasure, it got trashed. When people don't pay the price of responsibility, they don't care. That's why they're asking you to care. They're saying, care for me. So I said, okay, I'd love to, Sun. I'm ready to receive. And I thought, how do I do it? And the wisdom just came. So I imagined breathing in and receiving all this light and beauty and life into my front. And then the exhale just moving out of my back, as if the wind, the sunshine, everything just moves right through me like, where'd you go, little friend? It was still here, y'all, even from yesterday with all this wind. Just like that little cicada. Well, you didn't see it. It was in a different video. But the sunlight moving right through it, it just passes straight through. And they'd show me the cicada. It's like, let it just pass straight through you. And I was like, okay. So it's coming in through the inhale. And in my mind, I'm moving it out the back through the exhale. And I was like, oh, I love that. I love it, because it's just like when you're walking in a door to a store. You're going into the store and you're leaving that outdoors behind you. You're leaving what you just left behind. Leaving what you just left. I like that. You so smart. You so wise. You so crafty. You so basic. And I don't mean that as an insult. When you're the alphabet, you have everything. That's the thing. That's why you cover the bases. We're talking about the basics, right? So I'm excited for you, Virgo. Thank you for sharing this beautiful wisdom. Thanks. I appreciate you a million. So click that subscribe button down there. I'd love to have you join my channel. It's free as always. Also hit that like button. Give your vote for this, your vote for yourself, and help this video rise to the top so that other people have access to it and they can get on their own turf, get their own genie, and grow up themselves, right? Because you do want to see this world a better place also, but it is not your J-O-B. Leave me comments and compliments down below. Hashtags, emojis, whatever, my friend. Until next time, I love you, Virgo.